Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Shots Fired, where three idiot friends talk about photography and all our silly antics. Tonight we're going to be talking about some stuff that Adam is going to go over with you, and this one should be entertaining simply for the fact that we're going to rip on each other's images a little bit. Just a little bit. Smidge.
Yeah, no, I think you said it well, Joseph. I definitely argue that one of the foundational items or reoccurring themes of this show is three buddies who are somewhat unafraid to give transparent and sometimes, very
Very
brutally honest
hurtful,
feedback to each other. Yeah, of
transparent.
course. So, yeah, so today we're going to have a discussion that we're calling peer review, and it's an opportunity for us to do a quick round robin, pick our favorite image and our least favorite image for each of the other hosts. So Joseph will be peer reviewing Scott. Scott, you will be peer reviewing me, and I will have the distinct pleasure, of course, of peer
I
reviewing
can't wait.
Joseph. I'm really
Get your
looking forward to this
popcorn.
one.
I
Yeah.
can't
So
wait for all
again,
this stupidity.
most favorite, and least favorite images taken directly from our Instagram accounts. Let's
Yep.
say over the last 2 years, because anything later than that, you're kind of getting
I mean, I
to the
really
earlier
wanted to
days,
pull
of
out
course. But
Scott's
yeah,
coffee cup in front of the bridge. That
I loved that
yeah,
shot when I took
that
it.
is a
yeah.
is a classic. I don't even, what the hell was that? That was like the back in the day, like uh, influencer, like cup of coffee
Yeah.
steaming on a
I
cold
know.
day. Oh
Yeah,
my
If
yeah.
you
So
god!
if you watched the last video, I called myself out and said I was tracing the quote unquote Instagram aesthetic, and I
yes,
have reformed
Sure did it.
and
Nailed
changed
it.
my ways. But a little background: that we got the idea to come up with doing these episodes based on our group chat that we have with each other.
Yep.
We would send each other images, and most times rather than not, you were met with "this sucks" or "delete this." Um,
trash.
you would sometimes get
Just a
yeah,
trash
looks good.
icon.
Yeah, looks good. Wouldn't
Trash
change
icon. Yeah.
anything. But the criticism was high, not so much constructive. But that is why we decided to make these episodes. We thought, one, they'd be entertaining to you guys. Two, we just enjoy shooting the shit and talking to all things landscape photography. So
Yeah.
this is kind of the culmination of that.
Well said. Well, with that, Scott, maybe we can start with you,
Batter up.
and you can peer review me. I'm really
Oh
curious
boy.
to hear this one.
Alrighty, let's. Do
It
you
doesn't
want me
make
to
any
start with
sense though, because
I'll try
Adam
not to
doesn't
cry, by
put
the
up
way.
turds. I will put up anything. I will put up a well polished turd, whereas Adam will only put up his best.
So
Best. I
I
only shoot the best.
I will say
I've
that
seen your turds.
whoever draws Joseph on these episodes definitely has an easier go because he posts
Absolutely.
anything and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, Adam, he's a little bit more challenging. He's a little bit more refined in what he chooses to post.
Yep. I'm posting
Um,
whore.
so I'm gonna go with the image that I thought was the best. I scrolled down a lot. I was between a couple. I'll go over my best, and then maybe I'll show you the runner up after this. But he already knows where I'm going with this. Alrighty. So as soon as Adam sent us these two images or posted them, I can't recall if he sent them in our group chat. This one immediately stuck out to me. I am such a sucker for these woodland scenes, and I think they are so hard to shoot. I don't have much experience photographing them, but the little bit I do makes me appreciate scenes like this a whole lot more. This one, you really feel like you're immersed in it. I almost feel like I'm standing within this scene because there's so much depth. Kind of every which way you look, there's something going on, but not in a way in which it's distracting or chaotic. Everything seems balanced. You got this beautiful yellow glowing light, which again looks very natural. This would be very easy to over accentuate or make look unnatural, but it looked, you can tell that this is what the scene looked like. It's kind of just flowing through the scene, side lighting these trees, which is beautiful. In the back you can see all this moss that's catching some color. You have these ferns, which if you've never shot woodland scenes like this, it's really hard to find ferns that, one, are photographic or photogenic, I should say, because some of them are destroyed. The leaves are pointing every which way, but this way you got one on the right, one on the left, kind of one here off center. My eye just flows really nicely through this scene, so this was kind of a no-brainer for me in regards to why I picked it. I think honestly, and I know he does not feel this way about this one. This is one of my favorite images that he has taken or that I've seen of his. So yeah,
well,
it's
Scott,
really well done.
Scott, man, I'll say I'm definitely surprised to hear that this is your favorite shot. I remember you mentioned this to me at the time, and I was really surprised. And also, Joe mentioned earlier in this discussion that I don't post any of my turd polishes. I would say that this was originally intended to be like sort of a turd polish. This was I was looking around for compositions, and I kind of queued this one up, and I thought it was okay at the time, and I think I only took maybe 2 or 3 frames of this scene. I really didn't think much of it at the time. I thought that this was one that was definitely gonna fall by the wayside on at the editing table. But yeah, no, I kind of did some dodging and burning and polished this one a little bit. But I'm glad you like it, man. It's I think it's not bad. I don't think it's the best that I can do, but hey, man, I definitely appreciate it, and I'm glad that you found some value in this one.
Well,
Yeah,
Scott
no,
and I also had our own venture in the woods after you, and we didn't have as good a luck in those woods. It
no,
was
no.
so tough. It was like we didn't get the fog, we didn't get any of that soft light pouring through. It was a tough setting, so we're definitely gonna have to revisit the coast.
Yeah, and I think after finding out firsthand how challenging it is to shoot scenes like that, that is why I have so much more of a appreciation for being able to make sense of woodland scenes. So yeah, very well done. All right, now in regards to the image that I do not like or like the least,
Okay.
didn't have to go far in this one.
I
Yeah,
told you.
yeah. I'm gonna
This is one that I posted the other day. By the way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
This was posted 4 days ago.
Oh, you're so wrong. Okay.
So
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, buddy.
let me just talk through this one. I know where you're going. I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of images similar, I guess, or maybe a abstract-ish. But for whatever reason, this one just didn't hit home for me. I don't know if it's the color palette. I don't know if Joseph's rubbing off on you. There's definitely some magenta going on in there. I don't know what you two have been up to on the weekends, but
Fixing his
my
stupid house.
my one saving grace, or my one thing I will give you kudos or credit on, it's a creative shot, right? I will tell you, I would have never thought to shoot this or tried to come away with an image, so that much I do appreciate. But I just don't know if the trees are interesting enough. I think kind of all these branches kind of just look like a big mess to me, truthfully. I like the if there weren't so many branches, I think the image would be a little bit more simplified, which would maybe I would prefer a little bit more. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this one. I not the biggest fan.
No, that's totally fine. I see that you didn't give me a like there, so yeah, this all checks out. I didn't even get a pity like. Wow.
Dude,
I see how it is, man.
I will say the
That's
spot
bullshit.
on the.
Can you see that?
I sure can. Yeah.
I will say that I will say the
Well, Scott.
spot in the upper right third corner. It's driving me bonkers. No, not that one. Down to the left a little bit. Right there. Yep.
Okay.
Driving me
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. That's fair. So I think that's decent feedback, Joseph. Scott, man, you're completely wrong.
Hold on.
I'm
hold
sorry
on.
that you're not. I'm sorry that you're not creative enough to understand the artistic value here. But so this one, I'll say, in my defense, this one turned out well, not quite exactly how I wanted it to turn out. I've actually shot this group of large trees in the past. I think the previous version was perhaps a little bit nicer because you can see a little bit more of the yellow in the
Yeah.
in the branches, but this one, I think that perhaps the snow was coming down a little bit too much. I definitely wanted to shoot it with that kind of streaking snow, a little bit of a longer shutter speed, but yeah, perhaps the snow is too much where it kind of you can't quite see through the atmosphere to get to the actual subject. So that's fair. No, and that's in all seriousness, that's okay. I know this one probably isn't my best, but yeah, I'll take that back. I'll remember that, by the way.
My
I'll
All right,
simple
Adam. Now I really
you
want
son
you
of a
to
bitch.
show. Adam, I really want
my
you to
simple
show
brain doesn't work
Scott the
like
one
that.
that I like, the one that I think you should have posted.
Yeah,
The
we'll
other
maybe cover
variation.
that one during maybe we'll cover that during our next review. But
All right.
yeah, for this one, I'm going to yeah. Let me pull up. I'll maybe transition to Joseph, and Joseph, I'm going to let you pick. Do you want the good news or the bad news
Oh
first?
boy.
I want the bad news.
You
Can I
want the
just
bad
pause
I
news
know
first?
that.
for a second? I've
I
been
know
waiting
it's
for
going to be a
this
hard
all
pick,
day.
first of all.
Okay.
Is it
So
going to be one of the bugs?
I'll start. I'll start by saying that Joseph and I have very, very different approaches and styles to landscape photography.
Do you see how I
Um,
actually use color?
Yeah. Oh my God! It looks so. It all just looks so aggressive and offensive. Offensive. Just like a big dumb mallet. Hitting me in the face. But Joseph, I was actually a little upset because probably about 2 weeks ago you went through and called a
Yeah, I
lot of
called
the
it.
bad
Yeah,
images, and
I got
I
rid of
had
the bad ones.
I had several images where I was just getting ready to skewer you, and unfortunately you had culled them. However, that said, thankfully you have left plenty of meat on that bone. So at first I was going to go for this one. I mean, this is a
Dude,
disaster. I mean, this is like a
that's
Peter Lick
amazing.
piece of
Yeah,
shit.
I bet
But
you it would sell.
you know,
I bet you it would sell.
but that said, you were going for something creative there, so I was, I kind of let that one slide.
Uh-huh.
So I scrolled down, and this is the one that I'm going to focus on here as
I
the
figured
worst
it
thing
was.
that the worst thing you've posted
You're just
over the
mad because
last
the light
2
wasn't
years.
falling in the right spots.
No,
Come on.
hold on. You're not very good at hearing constructive criticism
No, I'm
here.
not.
And in
Just
fact,
go
I
for
remember you sent this image to me and Scott. You sent
Yep.
this to us, and then
Yep.
we both responded with a ton of criticism, and you're like, okay, yeah, it sounds good. And then you, like, 10
Posted
minutes
it
later,
anyway.
you posted this shit. Yeah. So, and took none of the advice into account. So
Nope.
like this one, I don't even know where to start. I will say that I'm not a huge fan of waterfall images. I think that a waterfall
Yep.
needs to be very unique and very, very epic, or you need to have really, really good conditions. And on this one, you actually had neither. So you had neither. You didn't have the subject nor the conditions to shoot this. And I do give you credit for attempting to shoot this in midday sun, where you have these sort of harsh sunspots, which I know, as you guys are well aware, it's tough to shoot waterfalls in this type of light, but it's the way that the light is hitting this composition that I think is a complete mess. As you can see,
Yep.
it's hitting the light is hitting this, here in the foreground, and maybe a little bit on the sides here. I guess a little bit in the fern. This is kind of the only decent place where the light is actually hitting. Ideally, when you're shooting this type of like waterfall, woodland type of
Yep.
shot, and you do have light coming through, you just want it to hit the composition in the right place. And unfortunately, that didn't happen here. Um, I would say that your composition itself it's poor, right? Like if I were you, I
Yep.
probably would have moved up a little bit closer here. I would have made this waterfall a little bit bigger in the frame because that's to me the most interesting parts of this image or this composition are, this this fern, this waterfall in the back, and then maybe this rock here in the middle. But again, this is in shade and it doesn't really attract your eye. I would have gotten rid of this. I would have cloned this stick out, or maybe just gone and pulled it out of the frame. I don't know what this is. Like, what is this? This log
That's a
that's kind of
tree.
protruding in
Yeah,
from
that's a
yeah, it's a
tree.
log that's protruding in from the
It's
right
a
hand
leading
side.
line, bro.
Yeah, and then of course you and I have discussed this a little
phallic
bit in the
looking.
past. Yeah. Very, very phallic looking. Very, very phallic looking. But
It's a theme in
you
these
know,
images.
but Joseph, you and I have discussed this in the past. Like, you got to clean up these sunspots that are coming through in the background, especially for woodland. It's very, very
That is
distracting.
a la natural,
Yeah,
man.
there's a lot of distraction on the on the borders of this frame. This thing is a mess. You should you should have called this one, but
Man,
you
I
didn't
still
you
think
didn't
it's
listen to
beautiful.
us, and you didn't listen to us, and you said fuck it, I'm going for it. Hey, for what it's
Yep.
worth, I did give you the
Pity
pity
like.
like.
Yep.
Yeah, and 64 likes
And
is
what did you
actually
say?
not bad. So
What does it say?
I
He lifts
s-
his button
I s-
in upper right hand corner. Delete.
yeah. Yeah, I was trying to give you some advice there,
Yeah, that did.
which
That did
which,
work out.
which yeah. So I'll pause there. Any thoughts?
I think it's beautiful. I mean,
You think it's beautiful?
everybody has an
Okay.
opinion,
Okay.
and it's fine.
Scott, am I
I
am I
think you
spot
are.
on?
I think you are spot on. There's a lot of things fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
My eye gets stuck immediately in the foreground and just
Yeah.
cannot move past there. That's the brightest spot of the image. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I do recall him also sending this over to us and us telling like, yeah, I don't know if this is the one, man. And then I open Instagram and boom, here it is in my face.
I know.
There it is.
I know.
I think I posted it before I asked you guys, actually.
No, incorrect. Yeah. So I definitely needed. Well, why don't we transition to the one that I like the most? Your best image from the
Go for
last
it.
2 years. I really after seeing this, I really needed a break. I took like a good 3 hour break to rewind a little bit and try to get into the mindset.
To cleanse the palate.
So I will say, Joseph, you actually do have some really good stuff here. I think that your best images, as I was going through these, and I'm not even a huge, I'm not a huge fan of sort of wildlife images, but I think that your wildlife and macro is particularly strong. Typically, I would choose this as my favorite image. However, this
Yep.
isn't really like a landscape photography shot, so I didn't choose this one. I think this is awesome, by the way. This is a amazing series,
That was a-
black and white. Yeah,
That
it looks
was
awesome.
such an experience. If you
Yeah, I know,
guys
but
ever have the
we're not
chance-
talking about that one. I'm sorry, buddy.
All right, well,
We're
man.
not talking about this
Well-
one.
well,
And
you
even
guys
some
don't
even
shoot
some of your
wildlife.
well, hold on. Even some of your macro bug photography is not bad. I hate bugs, but a lot
Yes,
of
you
this
do.
is actually not too bad. My favorite image of yours, and again, this is not a typical Joseph Cole type of shot, but I think that this abstract that you posted, and I hope that you put up like a higher res version of this because it's a little
Yeah,
tough to
well,
see on here.
yep,
But I love abstracts that. First of all, I think that abstract photography is tough. It's
yep,
definitely really tough to dial down and really focus in on one small frame, which was probably at your feet, right? And it's tough to sometimes look down and try to find some of those interesting patterns and textures on the ground. So, I give you a lot of credit for even finding this one in the first place. But I particularly like abstracts that have really great color and really great texture, but also that tend to look like something else.
yep,
So this one, to me, it looks very much like an aspen grove, right?
right.
Like an aspen grove with, some like red rocks in the background. I think that looks so cool. I was a big fan of the way that you edited this as well too. I think that from a color theory perspective, these colors just really sort of harmonize and work well together. Maybe not so much
Yep.
like green. Maybe I would have desaturated the green a little bit,
Mm,
but otherwise, I think that this is just a really cool image. It kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I said, I assume that this was one of the many other much better photographers that I that I follow. As I was scrolling through, I was like, "Whoa, this is Joseph's! Holy shit!" Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah, man, I'm a big fan of this one. Love it, love it.
So, shockingly enough, this is not at my feet. This
Okay.
is from a boat against the shoreline of Madeira on its southwest corner, where it rises from the ocean about 200 feet.
Mm.
Um, and this is actually flipped upside down.
Oh wow. Okay. There you go.
So that is the bushes and trees growing, and the
Oh, okay.
vertical veins coming down through the rock structure.
Looks good, man.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
a fan.
I really like this one as well. I think Adam kind of touched upon it, but I like images that make me think and try to figure out what exactly it is that I'm looking at. And this one kind of checks both those boxes.
Yep.
If you see my comment, it looks like a painting to me. Really kind
Yeah.
of just
Yep.
this bizarre um, image where they look like trees, but as Adam said, there's this the orange and yellow glow in the background. And
Yep.
interesting enough, now that
To
you
me, it
mention
was like
it,
a stormy day with sunlight coming through,
yeah,
like you said, an aspen grove.
and
Like I do like
I
do like how you think it looks like a rocky, like a red rock kind
Well,
of area.
I'll tell you, it kind of reminded me of like a petroglyph, and
yeah,
Right.
almost like when they like on a Pixar movie when they like animate a petroglyph to kind of show a
Yep.
backstory. You know what I'm talking
Yep.
about? That's what it
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
reminded me of, and yeah, I thought it was a really cool shot. So nicely
Thanks,
done,
dude.
sir. Yep.
Man, you
And
murdered me, and
Joe,
then you just gave me a big old back pat. That's
I
nice, buddy.
know. That's what I do, man.
I didn't think you had it in you, to be honest. I didn't know you could be nice. All right, so what do I got to do? Who
Well,
am I doing? I'm doing Scott.
all right,
Scott, yes, sir.
lay it on me, buddy.
Oh Jesus, you're gonna freaking get it. All right, let's go over here to share the screen, shall we? Okay. Whoops. I always forget the double click thing. All right, there's Scott.
All right.
Hmm.
Are you doing
All
this
right.
live, or did you look at this at all beforehand, or are you doing this live?
Are you kidding me? Of course I didn't look at it.
Okay.
Doing this live. All right.
That's yeah.
Here's the one that I dislike. Only because I can't stand that tree crouching in on the left. I know like you use it as a framing tool. You got this great color, beautiful soft light, but that just drives me insane. I don't know why. I feel like you should have taken the long lens out here. What were you shooting at? Like 24?
I can't recall if I
50?
had my wide
Had to be
angle
somewhere
on
between 50 and
or
24.
maybe it was my 24 120. I honestly can't recall.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just because like you said, like you don't always need the foreground, and I know you're trying to frame, but there's so much good stuff back there that you don't need to shoot that wide. And you had a great sky. Did you try and shoot further, longer?
No, I don't want to interrupt you. So when you're done, I will give some
Hmm.
uh,
All right.
backstory on this one.
I mean, I do see what you're trying to do here. Like you definitely framed up the trees in equal on the side. Um, this little tree, this little tree. I don't know. It just doesn't flow for me. It's kind of like a stop, and then you're just kind of like looking through. So I don't know if you're like doing the storytelling thing where like, you're walking through the woods and then you see Half Dome there, which I did hike about 25 years ago. That was a nice climb up that. That was a lot of fun. Um, yeah, that's all I got. I'm not good at the constructive stuff, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I, I will say that. So I was with Scott when you took this image.
Yep.
I had a different frame, of course, but I will say that it was a very rushed shoot. We got there
What time
right
did you
as the
guys get
light
up?
was kicking off.
No,
Oh
this was
No,
yeah.
sunset.
this sunset, yeah. So
Oh,
this was
sunset.
just as the
Okay.
light was. Yeah. We had made a pit stop to shoot a different scene, and unfortunately we just didn't have enough time on location here to find a real frame. But
Mm,
Scott, yeah, I'm curious to if you can provide some more
Yeah.
context here.
So kind of as Adam said, we got out of the car in the parking lot as the sky was already starting to go off. So it was a
late.
run to the yeah, a run to the viewpoint, and then we kind of scrambled down. And I don't love this image. It was the best one that I got that evening. I think
Right.
you're not wrong with your criticism. I think it's actually not the tree on the left that bothers me. It's the branch on the right that kind of overlaps with this pine that drives me a little
Yeah.
wild. But
Yep.
yeah, no, there's a lot of things that I wish I would have done differently. Maybe if I would have had a little bit more time. But yeah, I mean, no excuse. It just was kind of a rushed image, and only reason I did like it is because we did actually end up getting some nice light that evening. There was some nice pinks and pastel colors in the sky. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think you're wrong to say that
That's where I was
there's
wondering
there's
if
things that could be changed
yeah.
there.
I was wondering if you had like any time to really kind of switch up that 24 and go to 120 or even pop on another lens because you probably have what like 5 minutes with this, not even.
Uh, I don't know. It was
Yeah,
a rush.
Real
it
quick.
was it was a really quick one, and I will say that just the tree on the left there. I think it looked better if it didn't have some of those dead branches at the bottom, which
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe if you
Like
could
I
pull
think if
those
it
out,
had the
but
needles, it
yeah,
would dedefinitely be a
yeah, yeah,
smidge
exactly.
better. But it's
And
just,
then yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I took a frame from this location as well too, and yeah, it was kind of it was just a tough shoot. I wasn't thrilled with what I got either, but kind of nice light. We kind of stumbled into some pretty nice light on that one, Scott, if you recall, where we didn't think there was going to be too much of a sunset, and then
Yep.
we stepped out of the car and we're like, oh shit, we just kind of scrambled down there real quick, but
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
all
that's
right,
fair.
best one. Uh, Where'd it go? Right here. I absolutely love
Interesting
this shot.
choice.
Well, like, I'm a moody photographer to begin with. The more mood, the better. Just this soft light that's hitting, and then you have these like angry clouds behind it, and it's like almost disappearing into those clouds, but still obviously visible. There's nothing I hate about this. Every last square millimeter of this, I love it. All the nice lines, all that soft light. And you know the light's, kicking off above because you can see it just hitting that cloud. But like Adam said with the dappled light on his shot from Hanksville, same kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
my favorite, man.
yeah. I'm definitely a fan of the of that dapple light. It looks like you had some decent atmosphere as well too. I'd love to see this one, kind of higher res for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely not bad.
This was taken 2 years ago, I want to say, out in the Alabama hills by the town of Bishop. And this was after sunrise. Got a decent sunrise, but a lot of the mountains in which I sought out to include in my wide angle image were covered by this really dense cloud coverage.
Yep.
And I waited out for a bit, maybe an hour, 2 hours, and you could see some of the clouds start to clear and kind of some of these peaks start to come out. So I didn't even take my tripod out. I was perched against my rental car with my long lens on it, just firing off frame after frame. And this was one that I liked. But yeah,
Nailed
no,
it.
I'm happy you like this one. Probably wouldn't have been my choice, but yeah, no, I'm glad you like it and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, no, really nice, dude. Now I want to go shoot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
I would
Alabama
say that
Hills
one.
is like one of my favorite places.
I would say that one was definitely not one of my favorites, or at least one of your best in my opinion. But I do like those sort of monochromatic shots that they can almost pass as like a black and white. But
Yeah.
yeah, ton of great mood, ton of great atmosphere. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, guys.
Is that it?
Well,
Is that all we got? I feel like we did that fast.
Hopefully we didn't hurt too many feelings today. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Joe. Sorry for the.
I'm a
for the-
boomer, dude. Like you can't hurt these feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
You
that's
Gen Zers.
Gen
No,
Z,
what are you?
please.
No, you're Gen. What are
Millennial.
you? You're millennials.
Millennial.
Yeah, millennials
Millennial,
have the weakies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Have the tender hearts. Yeah.
that's right.
All right, fellas.
Actually, I'm not even a boomer. I think I'm a Gen Z. Am I a boomer? When's the boomers?
No,
that was before me, right?
You are Gen X, man. Gen X.
Yeah, whatever.
What's
Why
this
am I
guy's
telling
deal?
you this? What's this guy's deal?
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? All
I
right,
think
guys.
that's a
time
good
to go to
place
bed.
to leave it. Yep.
What am I again?
All right,
Gen
fellas.
X?
I gotta go.
Put this old man to sleep.
Right?
All
Yeah,
right.
it's time. Geriatrics are going to bed now. All right,
All right,
guys.
fellas.
Thanks for
Have a
watching.
good
Leave any comments down below if you liked anything, and subscribe if you do like to hear our antics and want to hear more, and you'll get notified. So thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah. See you in the next one.